So I recently discovered that I like making these types of videos where I can share my thoughts with you guys, just random thoughts about the car and why I do certain things the way I do. With that said, this video is gonna be about why I haven't sold my 2018 WRX just yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and list out all my reasons, but before that, enjoy this B-roll. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So let me start by saying that I love this car and it's perfect for what I need it for during this time of my life, and I appreciate everything it's done for us. Fun fact, this is actually the longest car that I've ever owned. I had a 2008 GTI which I kept for a little over 4 years, but this WRX is going on to 4.5 years. So if you're on the fence about buying a WRX, obviously I got this brand new, so I knew every single detail that's on the car since I did all the modifications myself, but I can't say the same for any used Subaru WRX out there. So we all know that the market is crazy. Carvana offered me $23,000 for my 2018 WRX Limited with 33,000 miles. So it was closer to $27,000 a few months back. I mean, I didn't really have any intentions to sell it. I just wanted to see what I could potentially get out of it. So I got this car for $30,500 in January of 2018. That means that it only depreciated $7,000-ish in 4.5 years of ownership, which is not bad at all. And I'm actually really surprised that it held its value. So there's a bunch of upcoming releases that I'm really looking forward to, one of which is the manual Supra that's coming out next year, the new Z, hell, even the new WRX, and of course the Corolla GR. But why am I still holding on to my 5-year-old WRX? Alright, so the first reason on why I still have this car is because of its practicality. I mentioned this several times in other videos. It's all-wheel drive, it makes decent power the way I have it right now, and it's honestly not that bad on gas mileage. I get almost 30 miles per gallon if I don't get on it, and obviously that's freeway, and in the city I get around 20 plus, so it's not that bad if you don't mash on the throttle every light. And overall, it's pretty safe. You know, the doors don't feel papery, and overall, it's just a solid car that I'm really happy about. I realized that out of all the cars that I had in the past, I always kept the 4-door ones the longest. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not meant to have a 2-door car. I don't know. I like having the space inside the car, and again, it's practical. So, like I said, maybe I shouldn't look into the new Supra or the new Z, but who knows? So another reason why I'm still holding on to this car is for its reliability, like I mentioned. So I haven't had any major issues with the car since owning it for nearly 5 years. I do hear the throwout bearing squealing, and Subaru was supposed to fix that in the 2018 models, but obviously it's still squealing. It's more of an annoyance at this point. It's not a huge deal though. I'll probably just swap out the entire clutch system when I'm ready. And the one annoying thing that really gets me with my car specifically, I regularly have air fuel issues. And I've mentioned this in previous videos. And when I say air fuel issues, I'm referring to the AF Learning, the long-term fuel trim. And how I know it's having air fuel issues is that AF Learning number spikes to sometimes -25, -30, and the AF correction, which I don't really look at so much, is also in the negatives, and I'm talking -30s, and that's usually never a good thing. Plus I get crappy gas mileage, and you can just feel the car struggling and it just doesn't feel right. So I've mentioned this in previous videos, and I can honestly say that it's caused by this Cobb Big SF intake. that you see right here. No, it's not the car's fault whatsoever, but it's still an annoyance that I have to regularly deal with. And just a few days ago, I hit a huge pothole on this side, the passenger side. And I noticed a couple days after that the AF learning numbers were spiked. So this led me to do my entire procedure of cleaning the MAF and the MAP sensors, and the most painful thing of all, which is adjusting this big SF filter to where the car is happy. So after doing that, I was still experiencing the really negative AF learning numbers, and so I decided to go deeper and adjust the tuning itself and resetting the ECU, and that seemed to have fixed it for now. My guess is that that pothole moved the intake placement, which then caused the spike. Again, what I'm mentioning now is no reflection on the car, it's simply this crappy intake. And yes, I say that proudly. I made an entire video on it, which I will link in the description below. You guys can check that out at a different time. Not the point of this video, but you get the point. So overall, no major reliability issues, and it's still running strong. It pulls hard, and I'm enjoying every bit of it still. My next reason for still keeping this car, or not getting rid of it, or not adding another car to the collection, is spacing. Yes, I could keep this car and add another car, but we have limited space at the house. So this is not completely relevant, but if you know, then you know how painful it is to move one car just to drive the other. I'd be happy to park the wife's car on the street, but the HOA will eventually catch on and probably write us a complaint or whatever. A 3-car garage would be ideal, but a man can dream. And if you guys look around my garage here, this is where I do all my work on the car. Every single wall is filled with something. I mean, I can probably hang these bikes up, but yeah, just for now, that's what we have. And then got my extra set of Pilot Sport 4S's, my snow tires, and all this stuff right here. This big toolbox, and this recently added workbench, and of course my quick jack system, power washer, and the Daytona jack. So there's literally absolutely no room here to add anything else unless I decide to hang it up somewhere. So I'm gonna look into that, but yeah, it doesn't solve the issue of making room for another car since we're kind of limited to 2 in this garage. And my next reason for still keeping this car is probably the smartest and most practical reason of all, and that is budget. If you don't know yet, if you're young and just starting out, cars are horrible investments, and if you don't need to get a new car, then my suggestion is to don't get a new car. I'm not a financial advisor, but I've been through enough cars and car payments, high interest rates to know it all. The worst financial situation I was in was when I had my 2010 Golf, just before my GTI. That car, oh my gosh, it was, kid you not, 29% interest, and there was no signs of paying that thing off. But eventually figure it out, and you learn from your mistakes, which I sure as hell did. So again, back to what I was saying, if you don't need to get a new car, then obviously don't. I'm fortunate enough to be able to have this car and this house that I'm in, and we couldn't have done it without being smart with our money and saving. Also, I'd love to get another car for myself, but I know my wife would eventually want to get another car since her Corolla, which is parked outside, was her car through college. And you know, it's one of those cars where you get and you just start life with it. But you know, it's a 2013 Corolla with only 60,000 miles, so that thing's gonna run forever. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, so we'll probably end up keeping it and using it as our errand car to run to the store or whatever. Safety is an issue with the Corollas, and I would want something bigger for her, so we might be looking into other options here shortly. The thing about marriage is that you have to stop being selfish and think of others for once. Nah, I'm just joking, but I'd love to have a new car, but you know, I want my significant other to be happy as well. But yes, adding another car payment is not the best idea during this time, so that's another one of the reasons I choose not to get another car for myself. And lastly, and I'm sure you guys can all agree at what I'm about to say, and for those who called it, and props to you, but my last and final reason on why I still have my car is because of the modifications. So I'm gonna be honest and say that I'm too lazy to uninstall everything and part out. I struggled with learning and installing some of these components on this car, and just removing it just kind of, to be honest, stresses me out at this time. So I'm gonna be honest and say that I'm too lazy to uninstall everything and just part out. It's not so much the wrenching away that I'm lazy about, it's the fact that you got to deal with lowballing buyers, the flakes, and just people in general when you want to sell your car parts. And fortunately, I have every single stock part that I swapped out somewhere here in this garage, and I'm capable of going back to stock without sourcing for any OEM parts. But I can honestly say that I don't want to go through all that, just at least not right now. And when I say I have no space in this garage, I got my J-pipe right there next to the water heater. So I'm using as much as I can, and I'm very, very limited for anything additional in this garage. And nothing lasts forever, and at some point, if I do decide to sell this car, I'll most likely just sell it as is, just like most of the other people that put their cars up for sale. They don't have the heart to convert it back to stock. You spent so much time perfecting it, and to you it's perfect, and that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't part out if I do decide to sell the car. So those are my reasons on why I'm still holding on to my 2018 Subaru WRX. And I'm just curious, if you guys are holding on to your cars, whatever car that may be, let me know in the comments below what you drive and what you would trade it in for if you had the opportunity. And I'm talking realistic. You know, if you have a Subaru, then if you say Lamborghini, then I just won't believe you. So something realistic. I'm just curious, and I'm trying to get some information. But yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video for today. One thing I'm excited about is that Grimspeed bypass valve. I ordered that thing, oh man, I think over a month ago, but Grimspeed has been keeping me updated. They're a little shortage on parts, and I'm just excited to install it on this thing and get some sound clips for you guys. I already have the nameless performance bypass valve installed, paired with the Grimspeed cast aluminum turbo inlet. I'll link that video down below if you guys are interested in hearing what that sounds like. But yes, I am excited for the Grimspeed, and I'm excited to provide you guys my thoughts on it. But yes, I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. If you guys haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a whole bunch. And if you guys made it this far through the video, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for watching. Like I said before, stay true to yourself, and more importantly, stay true to your build. I'll catch you guys in the next video.